This is actually one of my favorite ones. I always like to lead with this one that say, don't be misled by gigabit Wi-Fi. Just because you put it in the store doesn't mean that you've suddenly magically granted everyone gigabit speed access to the rest of the world. Most of the applications that are going to access data that's actually not in your store. So when your associate's using that mobile device and they're running an app, and it's going across that gigabit Wi-Fi, it still has to go across your store network out to either your data center or a cloud server somewhere that lives on the internet. And you're really restricted by what that network connection is to the store, not so much by the Wi-Fi speed. Where the Wi-Fi speed helps you is when you've got a lot of people in the store, whether it's a lot of associates running your app or whether it's a lot of customers on guest Wi-Fi, right? You're just getting a higher density, easier access to that. But you still have to worry about what's the speed and what's the connectivity quality out of the store, because that's what's going to dictate the overall experience. So there was a time, I think, when many retailers first started looking at deploying these devices and they thought, well, 4G is going to save the day for me because I'll just let these devices access 4G everywhere. And then I think people quickly realized, yeah, sometimes the signal quality is not that great inside the store. And some stores, just based on the building construction or the very fixtures they use, cause a lot of signal problems that way. So then, everybody turned to Wi-Fi. Great, Wi-Fi is going to solve my problem now. I don't need to rely on 4G, and I get the added bonus of gaining some insight on analytics and such on how the Wi-Fi is used. But you still have the issue of how do you get the data out of the store and back into the mobile device. So you can't be misled just by the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is one part of the solution, but you've also got to worry about the rest of the connectivity. And one of the last things I think I'll point out here, that the way you implement Wi-Fi matters, right? So I think all of us probably have a good example of a store we've been in where the Wi-Fi quality was really bad. And frankly, I always like to say that the only thing worse than no Wi-Fi in the store is bad Wi-Fi in the store, because bad Wi-Fi leads to bad experiences. And those are memorable, and that's not what you want, right, of course, as the retailer. So you have to make sure you work with solution providers that know how to develop coverage maps, know how to install Wi-Fi properly in the store so that you don't have dead zones. And then, like I said earlier, you got to watch out for the connectivity out of the store and make sure that you've also considered that with whatever the applications are you're choosing to give your associates to empower them.
So I think Ricardo, who, by the way, on this call, I'd say is the authority on this particular element of the topic, has covered quite a bit. I'll speak to three aspects that kind of jump out at me in addition to that. It's great. You did all that. Now your Wi-Fi works. It's fantastic. It's a great experience. But what is the value that you derive as a retailer from the implementation of the Wi-Fi? Have you thought through the strategy behind deriving greater customer insight from individual search histories to aggregate kind of store traffic flow, and how you funnel that back into your decision making to improve the customer experience and to derive greater value? Are you protected against potential threats from phishing attack? Can somebody just kind of walk in and use a beacon device to throw up a login page that somebody can extract valuable customer or associate data from? Do you know how and how much that guest Wi-Fi is going to be used? How is that going to have an impact on certain other experiences that you may have in the store? So guest Wi-Fi can increase customer satisfaction if executed properly, but it can also create business risk and counterproductive outcomes unless there's a lot of stuff under the hood that is covering all the bases.